Welcome one and all to today's video. I wanted to do a short unboxing and general review and recommendations in regards to headphones with the Sennheiser Momentum M2 wireless. This is not a advertisement, we paid for this ourselves a little over a year ago, so this also includes a 1-year ownership review. So let's shortly unbox it. It comes in this kind of carrying case. I don't find it that outstanding, and I only used it for storage at home. I would probably not travel with this. For me, this is a little bit too bulky. The headset as it is slightly more compact, but I'm not sure. I think I never traveled with it. I only used it at home. For me, this kind of price range is a little bit too fancy to travel with. I rather travel with much more compact in-ear headsets. So it also comes with this storage cloth thing. I like this kind of cloth a little bit more. This is a little bit cheesy, but then again, I don't pay for this kind of storage material. I pay for the headset as it. It also comes with a regular 3.5mm headphone jack cable, as well as a USB cable for charging. One special tip for this a little bit later. And an airplane adapter that I did not yet use. So material wise, I like it very much. For me, it feels much more quality and premium than Beats and other headsets. Actually, I was also looking in stores. I was also looking at B&O, Spang & Olufsen, and some new Bose. Maybe this is real leather. Not sure if this is real leather though. It feels actually quite soft. Also on my ears for longer use, it pressures a little bit on the side, but I guess this is not unavoidable with this kind of things. I rather find this quite perfect. The only thing is, in my opinion, this one trim here could be done a little bit nicer. I'm not sure what this material is, if this is fake leather, polyurethane or something, but this one line of trim here, in my opinion, could be a little bit nicer for this kind of price range. But then again, I didn't have a single problem with it yet. What is really nice about them is that you have quite some options. You can use them either wireless over Bluetooth, and it comes also with this aptX low latency and apparently slightly higher quality compression. And it also comes with noise cancellation. The noise cancellation actually was where I was quite skeptical, because I also for a longer time have this Bose, and this Bose unfortunately do not sound very nice. The frequency response range is rather lacking, and this Bose also only work with noise cancellation on. So if you run out of battery, they do not work at all. And again, this noise cancellation mode results in a quite lacking bass response and general not the nicest frequency response. This Sennheiser would be the same. I would not have purchased them, especially as they are twice the price at probably around 400. So if they would only work with noise cancellation, I would not have brought them. However, they also work passively with noise cancellation off. So if you just plug in this cable, it has some micro jack, maybe 2.5mm or something, that goes in here. So attached with this cable, they always work without noise cancellation. And if this would not have been the case, I would actually not have purchased them. Also, maybe in 10 years the batteries are end of life. And as far as I can see, you could probably still use them even if the batteries are eventually dead. Though from my YouTube channel you probably have already gathered, I would probably try to replace the battery in 10 years. Also, given that the noise cancellation of the Bose is rather lacking, I would not have purchased them if they could only be used with the noise cancellation. If you turn them on with this flimsy button here, it's probably an SMD switch directly soldered to the PCB, so I hope it survives 10 or 20 years. So if you switch them on, noise cancellation is always active, as far as I've found out. If you use them in active mode, you can still use this old-fashioned cable with your stereo equipment like classic iPod or even mini disc player or other smartphones or analog Revox reels and so on. To use the Bluetooth function, you obviously also have to activate them. If you hold the button longer, it enters the pairing mode. It can store the pairing details for at least 4 or 5 devices. However, you cannot really use it with more than one device active. If more than one device pairs, it usually switches to the last one that it paired to. For example, if you have paired it with your laptop and your smartphone and you switch it on, it automatically repairs with your laptop. However, as soon as you also get your smartphone nearby, it will switch over and pair to the smartphone usually. So if you want to use it with another device than your smartphone, you probably have to unpair it, disable Bluetooth on your smartphone for a moment or such to use it with the other one. Sound quality wise, it sounds fantastic. What I also for sure would expect for some $400 or euro plus minus sale or online e-tail pricing. Certainly what I would expect from a device designed by Sennheiser in Germany. The good news is also noise cancellation sounds fantastic. Unlike the Bose where the frequency response is really awful with noise cancellation, this one has a really fantastic frequency response even with noise cancellation activated. However, it adds a noise floor. So with my hobby music, semi-professional kind of training, I can hear this. Maybe non-audio engineer kind of people would not. The noise floor is certainly more enjoyable as background static than other noise that it's cancelling out. So quality-wise, it sounds similar to this pseudo-professional studio monitor vintage headphone from 20 years ago. However, the nice thing of those is you can still buy them. So although mine is 20 years old, you can still buy this Sony MDR7506. And I recently recommended it to a friend who is very satisfied with this one. So if you do not want to spend as much money and still like to use cables, going with this kind of Sony reference MDR7506 is totally fine. The only thing is here was some polyurethane fake leather thing that disintegrated after 10 years or 15. So these are actually replacements. The Sony replacements were more expensive, so these are actually aerodynamic. They just accidentally fit, although they fit very tight, but I hope this velour kind of thing lasts longer than this polyurethane laser thing, which may fall apart after 10 years again. For me, this Sony is kind of reference sound frequency response range. For me, this one sounds really good, especially given the price. I think nowadays it's only $100 or euro. This for sure is more expensive. In my opinion, it has a similar frequency response range. It sounds similar fantastic. It has very nice bass, crystal clear highs and well-balanced mids. If you switch the Sennheiser on into active mode, it may get a little bit more bass response. This is also actually quite nice if you sometimes want a slightly different frequency response range depending on the music or mood you are in. You have also two options with this one. The official frequency response range is 16 to 22,000 Hertz, and they even specify the impedance. So in active mode it's 480 ohms, and in passive mode with this noise cancellation off it's 28 ohms. And the sound pressure level is 113 dB, in passive mode 1 kHz 1 volt, and total harmonic distortion is less than 0.5% at 1 kHz at 100 dB. And apparently the total noise attenuation, probably in active mode, is up to 25 dB. So that's mostly it. I can hardly deliver over YouTube how they sound. To my ears, they sound much more professional, music quality balanced than compared to this cheap Beats that have a really awful bass-driven. For me, this also have a way higher quality feel to it with the stainless steel here and leather and such. And in my opinion, these are a much better quality product than Beats and similar entry-level, pure marketing-driven. One special quirk I wanted to point out is to charge, you obviously use this Bluetooth cable here. And I usually only charge this with smartphone chargers, which obviously just work with the voltage supplied here over the USB. Unlike the Microsoft Surface keyboard, where some clever folks said I should have read the manual. I even read the manual of this a little bit, but I did not find this quirk, which is once I connected it to my laptop for charging, and I was surprised to accidentally discover the appearance of a new audio device. This headset, on top of the old-fashioned wired connection and Bluetooth, it even allows to accept audio input with audio over USB. For the video, I wanted to try this with this Apple Cube. This is also why I repaired the mouse yesterday. You can see, mouse works. Awesome. I have not tried this so far on the Cube. The Cube is special that it has no audio built in. It came with, I think, Harman Kardon or so speakers. I never had this official Harman Kardon USB connected speakers. So let's try. The connectors are unfortunately on the bottom side of the Cube here. So to plug something into the USB ports, you always have to lift it a little bit, which is also probably why it gets these hair cracks there in the plastic. Thank God mine does not have hair cracks on the plastic. So I start testing it by plugging it into the keyboard. I hope it delivers enough power. It could be that it, yeah, okay, low power notice. This is what I thought, that it probably consumes too much power for the keyboard. But interestingly enough, it shows up for some reason. As so often, these keyboard integrated hubs do not supply so much power. So let's try to plug it into the Cube directly, which unfortunately with this awesome Apple usability means I need to lift it up. And plug it in mostly blind. Clever as they were, the USB plugs are behind the big video connector. I just see, so it's probably charging now. And let's switch it on. Unfortunately, for some reason, it doesn't work on macOS. I think it should work over USB 1. Not sure if it needs USB 2, but maybe the audio drivers on the last PowerPC macOS 10.5 are too old. This is of course a pity. I wanted to say you can use it on machines like those without built-in audio, but maybe not with the decade-old software. So let's boot Linux and see if that shows up there. On the Cube I actually also converted to Grub 2 already, so this is now also running full disk encryption on a 15-year-old or so G4 Cube. So actually, apparently it had to be switched off, at least on Linux right now. And now we indeed have, by the way, can I not load, maybe I load a better console font, one moment. This obsolete macOS driver aside, you could use it to connect to any laptop or PC even over USB only, even if it does not have a classic sound card built in. And it also has a rather nice sound synthesis when it tells you if it's switched on and pairing and such.
Power on, power off.
So this concludes the review. I hope you found it useful and learned something, and don't forget to subscribe for all the next videos to come.